Welcome back to Spooky Stories. For the next 10 days leading up to Halloween, I'll be sharing spooky stories, but not always spooky, from books within the collections at Seton Hall University, along with the strange and sometimes just downright weird of collections. I hope you enjoy. It is day 1 of Spooky Stories, and I'm going to start this off with a fitting poem, the very same one we shared last year, called Ghosts in the Library. Suppose when now the house is dumb, when lights are out and ashes fall. Suppose their ancient owners come to claim our spoils of shop and stall. Ah, me, within the narrow hall, how strange a mob would meet and go, what famous folk would haunt them all. Octavo, quarto, folio. The great Napoleon lays his hand upon this eagle-headed N, that marks for his a pamphlet banned by all but scandal-loving men. A libel from some nameless den of Frankfurt are not a la sphere, wherein one split with venal pen lies o'er the loves of Molière. Another shade he doth not see, Boney the foreman of his race. The great Sir Walter, this is he, with that grave, homely border face. He claims his poem of the chase that rang Ben Vorlich's valley through, and this, that doth the lineage trace, and fortunes of the bold Buccleuch. For those were his, and these he gave to one who dwelt beside the Peel, that murmurs with its tiny wave to join the Tweed at Ashteel. Now thick as motes the shadows wheel, and find their own, and claim a share of books wherein Rebut did deal, or Roland sold to wise Colbert. What famous folk of old are here? A royal duke comes down to us, and greatly wants his Elsevier. His Bacon tutor, Lucius, and Beckford claims an amorous old heathen in Morocco blue, and who demands Eobenus, but stately Jacques Auguste Defoe. They come, the wise, the great, the true. They jostle on the narrow stair, the frolic Countess de Vreux, Lamoignon, I, and Longpierre, the new and elder dead are there. The lords of speech and song and pen, Gambetta, Schlegel, and the rare Dramond of haunted Hawthornden. Ah, and with those 100 more, whose names, whose deeds are quite forgot, brave Smiths and Thompsons by the score, scrawled upon many a shabby lot. This playbook was the joy of Pot for whom now no mortal grieves. Our names like his, remembered not, like his, shall flutter on fly leaves. At least in pleasant company, we bookish ghosts perchance may flit. A man may turn a page and sigh, seeing one's name, to think of it. Beauty or poet, sage or wit, may opt our book and muse awhile, and fall into a dreaming fit, as now we dream and wake and smile. It's just a fitting poem to start off these next 10 days leading up to Halloween. It's like a proper invocation to the start of spooky stories, and in general, kind of a start to spooky season as we get closer to it and build up toward Halloween. So Ghosts in the Library, this poem comes from Books and Bookmen by Andrew Lang, published in London by Longmans, Green and Company in 1887. Now, Andrew Lang was a Scottish poet and novelist, among other things, who was known for collecting folk and fairy tales. He was also a scholar and poet, renowned for his interest in folklore, mythology, and historical narratives, and most famous for his compilations of folk and fairy stories produced between 1889 and 1910 that resonated with both children and adults, which was quite unique. When it comes to this poem, it explores history, legacy, and the enduring power of literature, which is most likely a reflection of Lang's own library, which would probably be the inspiration for this poem, for the library he is painting.
with its detailed descriptions reflecting a familiarity with the rare and valuable books within this library. I like how it constructs a picture of a library, especially at night. It makes it a meeting place for the spirits of historical and literary figures who once wrote and or owned the books it contains. And its metaphor as a meeting place for ghosts is quite powerful, instead transforming this seemingly quiet, even lifeless place of a library into a vibrant hub of activity, especially at night. And I think it's also interesting how it paints a picture of how books are never really truly ours. We just get the pleasure of caring for them for a bit until they are hopefully passed into the next caretaker's hands. It shows the connection between the past and present through the ownership of books. It's through these books that the authors and our owners, whether they're famous historical figures, scholars, or the unknown individual, that they continue to live on through their ownership marks. And it's almost like authors, even these past owners, haunt their books at night in these libraries. And this actually reminds me of an episode of Hilda where a ghost is haunting a book. Ultimately, one of the characters cares for the book, and in turn the ghost attached to this book cleans the room. And there's more to this episode and the series in general, and I recommend it, watching it if you can. It is a kid's show, to be honest, but I bet many of you might like it. It does pull in some folklore too into certain episodes, so it's quite fun to watch. Well, that is it for this episode. Thanks for tuning in.
And that is it for today's episode of Spooky Stories. If you have enjoyed Spooky Stories, be sure to share and follow us on social media at SHU_libraries. Until next time, keep your curiosity alive, and remember, the library holds more than just books. Some stories may linger long after the lights go out.